Dadu's Dream World by Vijendra Lal. Cabarita 2137. Narrated by David Tredinnick. Dadu looked forward to Wednesdays, as it was his turn to pick up his granddaughter from school and drive her to piano lessons. This made his retirement days more memorable, as he loved hearing from Kyra about all her schooling adventures. This also gave him the pleasure of transporting himself back to his childhood days of growing up in Fiji and reliving those memories through Kyra's learning journey. Dadu liked to get to the school car park before the scheduled pickup time and wait inside his car. This gave him a chance to catch up with his emails and the educational apps on his iPhone. But today, feeling a bit tired, he thought he would just relax and daydream. As he closed his eyes, his mind wandered off to his own school days. There were no granddad chauffeured pickups, afternoon snacks or music lessons. His granddad had died when he was in year 1, and his dad, who did the pickup, didn't have a car. Dadu's childhood home, school, and his dad's work were all within walking distance, which made things a bit easier. Dadu's pickups were not as comfortable as Kyra's, but still it was a lot of fun walking back home with his dad, especially on those hot days when his dad got him an ice block from the corner store. The sound of the school siren jolted Dadu out of his reverie. He got out of his car to join the other parents in the pickup queue. Kyra was sitting patiently on the red carpet with all the other pupils. Dadu held up his phone screen with Kyra's name, and the teacher on duty called it out in her microphone amidst all the chatter and clatter of this all-girls primary school. Kyra collected her large school bag and straw hat and rushed out to hug Dadu. Her missing 2 front teeth added a new beauty to her smile. Dadu was just as glad to see Kyra. He took her bag and hat, and hand in hand they walked to the car. The thought of his own primary school days still lingered in his mind. His pickup was so different. No cuddly hugs, no large and heavy bags, and no fancy school hats. Maybe, he thought, if he had been a granddaughter and if his granddad had been alive and had picked him up, he may have got a cuddly hug. But there would not have been a big heavy school bag or a hat, as his bag used to be tiny and light, and hats were not worn in his days when playing in the hot, tropical sun. "Dadu, do I have piano lessons today?" "Yes, you do. But you have to first finish your snacks." Kyra eagerly opened her snack box, which Dadu had carefully packed with the hope she wouldn't complain today. It had her favourite sweets, a chocolate cookie and green seedless grapes. "Thanks, Dadu," she said with a smile. As she started snacking, Dadu drove to the piano studio. "I am glad you are happy with your snacks today. When I was in primary school, I did not get snacks. I just walked home with my dad and had a few cabin crackers when I got home. Then it was a long wait for Mum to return from work and prepare dinner." "Really? And Dadu, what are cabin crackers?" "They were a type of simple biscuits which we ate when I was your age. They don't make them anymore." Dadu felt relieved that Kyra was happy with her afternoon snacks. In the studio, Dadu enjoyed sitting and observing Kyra learning the piano with her teacher. Learning a musical instrument was something he always wanted to do but never had the opportunity. His school music classes comprised of singing hymns in class with a guitar played by the scripture teacher. Private music lessons were not available. Even if they were, his dad, who had an average job and often found it difficult to make ends meet, would not have been able to afford them, let alone buy him an instrument. As the piano music filled the studio, Dadu's thoughts drifted to the time when he finally was able to buy a guitar. It was from a pawn shop with some savings from his last holiday job. It was old and worn out and had only 2 strings, but for $5 it was a bargain. Plucking one of the strings, Dadu figured out how to play one of his favourite tunes. Later, he got new strings and had the guitar tuned and was able to cajole a few of his Indigenous classmates, who played guitar, to teach him a few easy chords and songs. Occasionally, he would show his gratitude by giving them his roti curry lunch which they loved and would do anything for. Dadu tried to recall the first song he had learnt to play. To his surprise, its lyrics started flashing on the screen of his aging mind. God is so good, he took my sin. And then the melody of that song waltzed into the studio and drowned out the melodies from Kyra's piano lessons. All Dadu could hear now was the beautiful sound of his first song. As Dadu revelled in his reverie, he did not realize that Kyra's piano lesson had ended, and it was time to go home. Driving home, he thought of the many challenges of learning music when he was growing up, and how privileged Kyra was to be able to learn to play a musical instrument. But he was grateful for what he could still learn, without rich parents, a flashy guitar, qualified teachers, Google or YouTube. As they approached home, an inner voice whispered to Dadu, God is so good. He paused, reflected, and then whispered back, Yes, indeed. But I wish God had also given us Google and YouTube when I was growing up, including the iPhone.
The end.